Gówno ci to obchodzi! Śmiecu, jebany, kurwa mać!
What is up, guys? Candice B here. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. Welcome back to my subscribers and welcome to my new ones. Happy Sunday to everybody, or happy whatever day you're watching this on. Today we are back with another analysis video, another market outlook, just preparing for the week ahead for the second week of November. Man, oh man. Yes, we are going to be analyzing GBPJPY and EURJPY today. So make sure you go ahead and hit that like button for preparing for the new week ahead, a new trading week. Now, as a disclaimer, of course, the way I analyze my charts is just simply how I personally do it. It's just based on my opinion, my experiences, etc. Please do not interpret this as me trying to give out a signal or trying to teach anything. I'm just simply sharing my thoughts with you guys, and that's just it. But that being said, let us get into the video. All right, starting on GBPJPY as per usual. Let us start with the monthly. And I just want to briefly check the monthly, not really stay on it too long. I just want to see how this month's candle has been forming. So I see that right now we are bullish still, but there was some rejection from the upside, and I'm assuming that's just the election, just volatility from the election. And I just actually want to measure how many pips this wick was. All right, so it was about 151 standard pips, so that's about 1,500 micro pips just for the wick. So that definitely was pretty volatile. So I do see that price did attempt to push up, but it wasn't able to sustain that level, and it ended up pushing down just probably with the whipsaws of the election, but it was still bullish. So let's go down to the weekly and see. The weekly is pretty much just showing us the exact same thing on the lower time frame, because the monthly has only been 1 week. Obviously the weekly would just be 1 week, so yeah, that's why the candlesticks look exactly the same. But yeah, this is just showing that there's this area here, this range that price was not able to break above just yet, and it came back into this traffic area. So you know, not too surprising with just all the volatility that came with last week. I know that in my analysis last week, I kind of drew out this this kind of channel here. So it looks like price is still respecting this channel. And I mentioned that I thought that GJ would still be bearish overall. So, you know, you never know. This week we can see a movement to the downside, possibly just from the fact that there was this very strong top wick, but definitely would want to go down to the lower time frames and see if there are any confluences. But we do still have this range area to the left of us that has not been tapped since September 21st. So there's still this no traffic area, basically this kind of all this blank space that price may want to come down and re-tap. So let's go down to the daily and see. So again, like I said, price is still in this channel, this bearish channel here. And this is where the election came into play. So we see that price had that bullish movement. I was personally watching gold, and I noticed that gold was very, very, very bullish. And so GJ kind of had that same bullish push, but then it started to reverse strongly. So we can see that this was a very huge wick, and it was, I think it was just one of those things where it's kind of like, okay, what goes up must come down. Of course, with all the confusion and the waiting game that the election brought, you know, a lot of things were happening. Price was just kind of moving all over the place. So I guess it just simply wasn't able to sustain this level with whatever, you know, good news came out that helped GBP in terms of the election. It wasn't able to sustain that, and it came right back down. But as you can see, structure is still pretty much the same. Nothing has gone extremely, extremely crazy. Like, we don't see huge breakouts to the upside or huge breakouts to the downside. We just see that kind of whipsaw movement, that push up, and then the retracement, the correction, and now we're back in this this channel. So that's not too bad. I hope that whoever traded NFP or traded during the election, that they managed their risk. Like I said last week, I just kind of watched from the sidelines, just because my mind wasn't in it. I wasn't personally prepared to trade the election. So, you know, you got to be prepared for these type of things. So I just sat on the sidelines and I was perfectly fine with that. Mentally, I was at peace, very much at peace, just watching everything. So yeah, let me just see further. So we still see these kind of indecisive candles towards the end of the week. So Thursday, Friday, we see these candles with smaller bodies and big wicks, not really indicating much just yet. It's still kind of in this this area here. So we don't know really where it wants to go at this point. So for me, what I would be waiting for is, if I were to be looking for buys, I would definitely want to see price start to break out of this channel here. And once I see that, I would definitely want to see a retest as just a confirmation that we've broken out and we are staying out for now. Some sort of confirmation candlestick saying that we are probably going to go to the upside for a bit, and then that's what I'd be waiting for, looking on the lower time frames. And then we have this area, the top of this wick, that can be filled. You know, it's likely, but we will see. That is one option. And then also there is a chance that we will see a gap when the markets open. So just because of the fact that the president was confirmed on the weekend, so, you know, we might see a big gap when the markets open, but we'll see. I don't know if it'll be a gap to the upside or a gap to the downside. You know, if it's a gap to the downside, who knows? But what I would be looking for in terms of a higher probability buy would be for price to come back down to this area here where it tapped back in September, end of September, and I would want to see if price has a confirmation candle that will indicate that we're going up. So this would be a better trade that I would be more likely to wait for. Just seeing that it would be confirming that the channel is being respected. We're pushing down, we're gonna touch this end of the channel, and then we're also going to be touching a zone area that when it previously came in this area, it did push up pretty strongly. So I mean, for sure, I would be very interested to see. I don't know if price is going to completely gap down and then just kind of open right here, but I would be curious to see if over Sunday and Monday, if price ends up coming down here, then for sure once Tuesday and Wednesday comes, I would be looking for buys from here. In terms of any sells, let me erase this first. In terms of any sells, I would probably be looking for, if price were to come down here, I would be looking for the break and the retest. I would need a clean break of this area for sure. Absolutely. A break and a retest of it. You know, again, a confirmation candle confirming that price is wanting to push down. You know, a candle that has a top wick and is bearish. And then, you know, it'd be easier for me to set my stop loss above the wick and then take that sell. Yeah, that's pretty much the only kind of setup I would be looking for. Let me go down to the 4 hour though, just to kind of see, because 4 hour is more clear for me. Yeah, so we see just at the end of the week, a lot of just indecisiveness, sideways movement. So yeah, same idea, same notion, waiting for price to see if it gets down here, taking a buy if it does, or taking a buy if it breaks above this area and retests it and pushes up. So this is where the election came into play. We saw a huge push up, very fast push up, and then another very fast push down. Yeah, so for me, I wouldn't even know. Even if I knew price were coming back down, I wouldn't know really where to get in. So yeah, because that was a huge, huge wick. But yeah, more in the last couple of days of the week, a lot of wicks happening, a lot of indecision, sideways movement, not anything out of the ordinary, especially with just the high volatility that came with the, you know, the days before, the Tuesday and the Wednesday. So not surprising there. I'm actually gonna check if what news is next week as well. Yeah, so next week we do have a bit of news. On Monday, the Bank of England, there is a speech that it's gonna happen. Let me just see, a couple bank holidays coming up on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we have more GBP news, quite a bit of it actually, some red folder news. And yeah, so there is some news, some red folder news happening this coming week. So definitely want to be cognizant of that. In that case, I would just want to wait for price to kind of get back into more structure. The fact that the 4 hour looks like this is kind of making me hesitant, making me want to just be patient, because if the 4 hour is closing with so many of these indecisive candles, it really just means that, you know, price is still trying to figure out which way it wants to go. You know, there's kind of equal amounts of orders being filled in this particular area. So even if I map it out with a little box here, we can see that it's just ranging. So definitely just waiting for a breakout of the range to the upside or to the downside. But even if it were to break out to the downside, there is this level here to be wary of. Let me properly draw this. There is a zone here that, you know, I would be cognizant of, just because price coming down to this area, we can see a bounce, or we can also see a break and a retest and a break. I don't know, but yeah, I would be more inclined to take sells if price broke down past this zone and then retested it as a resistance. And then I wouldn't be opposed to, you know, taking sells to the downside, but I wouldn't want to take a sell here, let's say, for example, just because it's too indecisive in this area. And I don't know if price will come down here and fake out. I just don't want to take that chance. I feel like it's a higher probability trade if I just wait for price to break below this zone and then retest it, because then that is just, you know, that's what I trade. My confluence would be that we're still in this downward channel, and that price would be wanting to come back down to this higher time frame zone. So those would be the confluences that I would be looking for, and that would be making me more comfortable to take a sell here as opposed to here. Yeah, so it's just a waiting game, really, as usual. And then, like I said before, to the upside, I would want to wait for a break and a retest, and then a push up. So we'll see. Let's quickly go down to the 1 hour. And yeah, the 1 hour is just showing consolidation. So pretty much I would just be looking for my entry on the 1 hour, but I would have to wait for the structure to happen on, you know, the 4 hour and the daily. I'd have to wait to see the structure there first, and then I would go down to the 1 hour and kind of look for my entry, and then go from there. So yeah, 30-minute, same idea. Just kind of going down to the lower time frames just for the sake of this video, but yeah, I can take entries on the 30-minute as well. Between the 30-minute and the 1 hour, it really just depends on what I see. But yeah, we see a very, very strong rejection from this area. So when we look left, there was some taps in this area in the past as well, and it led to some strong pushes to the upside. So we'll see. We'll see if price, when it comes down here, we'll see if it rejects or if it breaks, and we will adjust accordingly. That's pretty much what I see on GBPJPY. Let us go to EURJPY. Alrighty, so I'm on the monthly of EJ, and again, just quickly wanting to take a peek at what's happening here. So we see that EJ is correlating with GJ, of course, and that we have that bullish candle still forming. There's less of a wick as opposed to GJ. Let me go down to the weekly. So obviously the same thing. We see that price is pushing up here, and the bears kind of came in right at the last minute to push it back down. And then obviously this bearish action came from the news last week. So yes, we can kind of draw out just to kind of see here the zone, just because price did come down here and then it pushed back up. We don't see any lower wick. If I go down here, it was just a straight push up when price came back into this area. So we can kind of see that that is a support, and that price, there might be a chance that price can push further up. Let's go down to the daily. Okay, so now when we go down to the daily, we see a bit more detail. We see these wicks happening, these top wicks, and right away to me that just shows me that price is having a pretty hard time breaking above this area. And when I pull this left, I do see that this is a sort of high traffic area, so that is understandable. But pretty much price tried all week to push past this area after it pushed up, and it wasn't able to break above. So it's in this range here. So let's go down to the 4 hour and see. Okay. So we see we have that huge push down. We see that lower high, lower low, and then we see that price is now in this consolidation area, kind of ranging here, trying to break this structure and push up. And when we zoom in, I see that there is this bearish doji, so that to me is an indication that price may want to push down. We see two bearish dojis, but I'm looking at this one because it's kind of bigger. But yeah, so there is a chance that price may want to come back down here, and if it's able to break past this area, then we might see this kind of retest and then a push down to the higher time frame zone here. So that might be something. So I would absolutely be looking to hunt sells. If I see price close below here, I would wait for a retest, put my stop loss above the high of the previous candle, and then I would enter sells, and that would be my take profit area just right here. You can say that the take profit area can be here, but I would probably be wanting to scale out and see if price would come back down here. But yeah, it really just depends. Since there's GBPJPY news, obviously that's going to affect EURJPY as well. For price, for me to want to enter buys, yeah, I would definitely want to wait for some green candles to start forming. I know this is blue, but pretend it's green. I would want some green candles to start forming and just indicating that price is now wanting to go up. You know, bulls are now coming back into the market. So I would want to see something like that. And then of course I would love to see a close in this area, a bullish candle, a nice strong bullish candle, because since we're on the 4 hour, that would really give me confidence that, you know, a buy could be feasible. But yeah, that's what I would be looking for. Let's go down to the 1 hour. And I mean, I see that that could be a possibility, that price could be wanting to go up, because if we're looking at the 1 hour, why do I keep doing this? If we're looking at the 1 hour, we see that these candlesticks are just pushing up. Like technically speaking, there is that higher low, higher high structure. It's just that this is a very difficult area to kind of break in the moment. And this was the election. So price had the ability with the momentum from the news to push up, but then obviously it pushed right back down. And then, you know, since then it's just been hovering in this area, but it looks like it has intention, because after it pushed down, it pushed back up. Like I feel like it does want to. And since then, you know, it's been hovering here. So I'd be curious to see what happens, you know, around Monday, Tuesday time. I want to see how those candlesticks start to close, because if I'm starting to see those, you know, candlesticks pushing up, with the lows of the candlesticks closing higher than, you know, the highs of these candlesticks. Does that make sense? The lows of the new candlesticks closing above the highs of the previous. Yeah, I think that makes sense. That's what I'd be looking for. And yeah, that would give me more confidence to enter buys. But this price action is showing me that price does have intention, that it wants to go up, just because I see there are more green candles coming in, you know, smaller red candles, smaller bearish candles. But again, I feel like it would just take some sort of, you know, strong enough news event, maybe during London session, most likely during London session or the London New York crossover, to really push price up. So I wouldn't be surprised if it does that. But then again, I wouldn't be surprised if it pushes right back down, because if this is a strong area, then, you know, this could be an indication that it doesn't want to break it yet. So we'll see what the second week of November brings to us. But I would also be looking for my entries on either the 30-minute or the 1 hour on EJ if I were to trade it. I might trade EJ, I don't know, we'll see. Whichever, between GJ and EJ, whichever pair kind of gives me the best setup. Even though, yeah, GJ, I stick to GJ, I've been backtesting EJ and kind of studying it, and I'm noticing a lot of similarities. And so yeah, we'll see. 30-minute, a lot of wick action, obviously. Yeah, a lot of craziness was happening. A lot of volatility was happening with this election, obviously, but it's interesting to look at. I mean, even here, if price is able to sustain this kind of small minor support zone, then there is a chance, and especially if it closes above here. Like if you see a bullish candle close above this area, then yeah, even that would be an option to scalp it just to the upside and then use this as your take profit area. And then, you know, it might break back down, but let me just see if this were even a thing. I just want to see if the risk reward would even make sense, because yeah, I would want my stop loss under here, so it'd be like a 1-to-1, but is it worth it? Who knows? But it is possible to enter here, stop loss under this minor zone, take profit right at here. It's 1-to-1. You never know. It is definitely a possibility. But yeah, we'll see what this week brings. That is pretty much my analysis. Definitely going to be patient this week with, you know, you don't know what's going to happen, especially with politics happening in the US. A lot of still kind of salty feelings between certain parties. A lot can happen, which obviously affects the markets. And even though GJ and EJ don't have USD in them, they are still affected, as we all are, as you know, most countries are when something happens in the US. So that definitely reflects in the markets. So, you know, just gotta be aware that the fundamentals are definitely a part of what may happen in the week. And of course, just at the end of the day, have your technical analysis done, so you kind of have that part covered, and then you kind of just follow the fundamentals of it. And then with those two things together, then you can kind of maneuver through the markets. And of course, manage your risk always. I'm telling myself this as well. Can't just keep managing your risk. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, please let me know by hitting that like button. You already know I appreciate it. And comment down below, what setups are you looking for? What pairs are you trading? Are you just gonna be chilling? Yeah, and just let me know. Last but not least, do not forget to subscribe so you know when I post another video. And in the meantime, feel free to check out any of my other videos on this channel and my other channel. But I wish you all a successful trading week, and I hope you have a phenomenal day, week, and life. Bye!